Hey family, I have some wonderful gifts I want to share with you guys today on this beautiful Saturday evening. I've had a few dreams the past couple of nights, and I've had some really interesting ones last night that I really want to share with you guys. So, see what you guys think about this as well. So, the past couple of nights or days or so, I've been praying about the number 8, asking the Lord, I'm doing some studying on the number 8. And the other night, I had a word that was given to me. I heard, this is the number of spiritual warfare. So I'm wondering if that was referring to the number 8. I'm not sure on that, but and I've looked things up, and I haven't really seen any correlation between the two. Everything really went with the definition and description of what I spoke about it before, as being like newborn, a new beginning, and things like that. Also representing interest from the natural, or transition from the natural realm to the spiritual realm. But I didn't see anything that said anything about spiritual warfare. So I'm also wondering if that word where I heard, this is the number of spiritual warfare, did not pertain to a number as in an integer, or like a numeral, but meaning like this is the day of spiritual warfare, or this is the time of spiritual warfare. Like maybe number meant that in a sense. But I don't know, I'll do some more research on that and some more studying and prayer, and then if anything comes up, I'll get back to you guys on it. But so last night, I had this dream, this quick flash dream, where I was walking into a kitchen, and then a small white cloth that was hanging up blew in my face. Like, I was walking into the kitchen, and it was like it blew in my face, and it was bright. Like, I saw a bright light, like it was early morning, and the sunshine was coming in through the window of the kitchen, and the kitchen was kind of lit up. And I saw a person standing there, but I couldn't really see them very well because the cloth kept blowing in my face. And they were standing in front of me, and I was trying to see the person who was in front of me, but like I said, the cloth, the white cloth, kept blowing in my face, and so I could only see glimpses of the person. And then I realized that I was dreaming, and I woke up. So a couple things crossed my mind about this. One, the white cloth. I believe that represents white linen, or fine linen, as Revelations talks about. Well, as the Bible in general talks about us having our clothes clean, and then being clothed in garments of fine linen of white, which represents purity. It represents us being cleansed and being pure in heaven, and it also represents truth. So I had looked up something about veils, like a veil that a bride wears, because I was thinking about how it was blowing in my face. So I had got this definition of a veil. Veils cover the hair and face became a symbolic, or veils covering the hair and the face became a symbolic reference to the virginity of the bride thereafter. A bride may wear the face veil through the ceremony, then either her father lifts the veil, presenting the bride to her groom, or the groom lifts the veil to symbolically consummate the marriage. So one representation of this white cloth blowing in my face could have been the veil that is currently on my face, us not being able to see clearly into the spirit realm, and it blowing, so I was seeing glimpses beyond it, and that saying, the Lord showing me that very soon He's going to lift this veil off of our face and consummate our marriage with Him. Or it could also mean, as I had said, that the white linen represents truth. It could have meant that there was truth right in front of my face. There was truth blowing in my face, because earlier that night before I went to sleep, I actually was praying for truth about something. So I'm wondering if that was my answer. So I'm not sure, but that's what went on with that dream. So the next dream, I was looking at my left hand and it had a henna tattoo on it. I was thinking about pressing some type of canister, like, so I had this, I'm not sure if I'm saying the right term, but it was like this object, like, I don't know if it was a lamp or like a canister, or it was something like tin or metal, and it had this intricate Persian type design on it, and I was looking at it and I was thinking about pressing it onto my hand, on the top of my hand, my left hand. And I was in a hallway, and there were other people further down the hallway, and then there were this ladder. There was this ladder in front of me, and it was leaning up against the front of a door, and above the door I could see, like, you know how sometimes in some buildings there will be like those little rectangular shaped windows right above the door, and it was like that, but it was open, and I knew I was climbing it. I was about to climb it to do something. I'm not sure what I was doing now, but I was climbing up the ladder, and I had went to put the object that I had to press it onto my hand, and I knew that it was going to imprint onto my skin and make like a mark. And just as I was about to do that, my wife Janice came out of nowhere, and she was like, "You're not going to put that on your skin. You're not doing that." And then she was like, "Look at it." She had told me to look at it, so I looked at it, and at that point, like, I looked at it like deeper, like I could see more detail of it, and like in between the intricateness of the design, I could see like this menacing looking hand, or this like creepy hand, and it was real demonic looking, and it had like these long dark, like chewed up fingernails on it, and like I could see these fingernails. I don't know if this was a vision that I was seeing this hand or these fingernails, or if it was actually in the design, hidden in the design or something, but I could see it. And then I knew it was like some type of dark demonic sorcery or something like that. And then I knew it was bad, and I guess I had woke up somewhere after that. So I did some research about henna tattoos, or just tattoos in general, but this also spoke about henna tattoos. And what I came across was that henna tattoos were done by priests, like back when they first used to do this stuff in India and, you know, other countries. This was like a ritual, and or tattooing was like a form of a ritual, and priests, the only people that could do it used to be priests. And they would read these incantations or these spells to connect spirits to the tattoo of the person that they were putting it on, for protection or blessings. So I'm wondering if that's what I was getting understanding of, or if this also represented the mark of the beast, as it being on the hand and it being a mark that I was thinking about putting on my hand. I wonder if this could be the Lord warning about the mark of the beast, about to step on the stage, and giving me a call to warn the church and the people to watch out for that, to be careful, because as I didn't see the demonicness under the intricateness of the design, at first it looked like just a pretty design, so it was like just normal, and then once I looked at it deeper, I saw the hidden stuff that was under it or in it. So I'm wondering if that's what he's telling me, or I feel like that might be what he was using that dream to speak, to watch out for this mark, because it's going to look like something good and something pretty, but there's hidden satanic, demonic intentions in it. So watch out for that, guys. So then I had another flash dream, and I heard someone say something about getting more oil to put in our lamps, and I saw that our lamps were sitting on top of this shelf on the wall, and I know that has to do with the parable of the 10 virgins, which is when, the 5 virgins that kept oil in their lamps, and the 5 virgins that didn't keep oil in their lamps, and then when the groom came to invite them to the to the wedding, the 5 that didn't have oil weren't ready, and the other 5 that did have oil were ready, and the 5 that didn't have oil asked the 5 that did have oil to give them oil, but they were like, well, we won't have oil in ours if we give you oil from ours. So they left, and they went into the wedding ceremony. So once the other 5 tried to get in, the doors were closed. So if you don't know about that parable, read that. Definitely, it's very important, and it's very relevant to what's going on right now. The next dream I had, I was taking off in an aircraft to go on a mission, and I was talking to mission control in the tower as we were lifting off. So I know that the tower represented Jesus, because Psalm 61:3 says, "For thou hast been a shelter for me, and a strong tower from the enemy." And Proverbs 18:10 says, "The name of the Lord is a strong tower, the righteous run to it and are safe." So I believe I was doing a mission, as I've done a few of them now, in my dream, and the Lord allows me to see myself doing these missions, or at least going on the journey to the mission. And I believe these things are really happening in the spirit. These are things that I'm doing in the spirit, as I'm sleeping. And so I was speaking to the tower control, which I believe that those are the angels. The angels are in the tower, in heaven, controlling, as they are given their tasks and their positions to keep things running. And I was communicating with them on my way lifting off to wherever we were going on this mission. So this next dream was pretty big. And so I was in a house with a bunch of people. There were a lot of children running around playing. We were in a room for something like a meeting for the people of the house. And I think it might have been for the adults of the house. Not sure. There was a younger girl there in her teens, and I was trying to get her attention to talk with her. I kept telling her I needed to tell her something important, but every time someone would come and interrupt us. I kept walking with her as we walked out of the house into another area. I then knew we were underground with many people in the tribulation period. All the people would gather together in the caverns. So there were these underground caverns that everybody would like socialize and mingle with each other in that area, and it was really long. So I know it was like this really long underground tunnel, underground cavern, and I knew everybody was underground. And with the Holy Spirit, a thought that popped in my head was maybe everybody was underground, stayed underground because of the radiation that is above ground from the nuclear warfare that occurred, which many people have had dreams about, including myself. So, and we see a lot of that in movies. And if you don't know, the movies tell a lot about the things that are going to occur. You see a lot of things in movies and TV shows being foretold as to what's going to happen, as to what these people are planning to do. And this kind of connects with a lot of things that we've seen. So I believe I was there to help them to learn. I was at some point finally I got to sit and talk to the girl there at this table. And I was telling her about the reason why they had to go through the tribulation. I said, God is righteous and holy, and there can be no sin with him. I told her the purpose of this is to cleanse the people through the trials of these hard times they're going through in order to bring them to him. I knew they didn't know much about God, and it was a forbidden subject because when I was talking to the girl about it, I could see other people looking at me like I was crazy, like, oh no, is he really saying that? Is he really saying God? Did he just say God? We can't talk about that. Like, I knew that's what they were thinking. And so for whatever reason, I knew I had to speak this information to this girl, almost like I knew she would listen. And I feel like that might be a clue as to why God has chosen who he has chosen. And because before, as we were all chosen, before time even existed, and God knew us before we even were born. But I feel like maybe he knew, since God's all knowing, and he knows way beforehand because he's outside of time, so he sees everything that's going to happen. But he knew who was going to accept him and who was going to listen to his call when he came to them, and that's why those who have been chosen have been chosen. So then while we were talking, I noticed a person, it was either a person or a robot that came, that was like just appeared, either ran from behind me and appeared on my left side, or something like that. Where, however it happened, there was a person or a machine, a robot or something standing next to me on my left side. And as I was kind of confused about it, because I was like, where did this person come from? And Then the other kids, like they were all excited, like, oh look, look. So they ran over to it and they touched it, and somehow it turned on. And as right after it turned on, it like a screen appeared on it, and it was like a TV. It was like a walking TV. Then it sprung up into the air, and like it flipped, it spun around, and then it landed back down on the ground on its feet, and it started playing this real colorful video. And like I was real confused and weirded out, like what are we looking at right now? What is going on? And then I realized this was a Nintendo 64 commercial of the game Banjo Kazooie. And I was thinking, this is from a really long time ago, way before any of these children were even born. And then I knew they didn't even know what a commercial was. So I don't know what that Nintendo 64 Banjo Kazooie commercial represented, but that's what was playing. And it's weird, even weirder, because like I remember when that game came out, and I think I might have played that game like one time in the store, like in Walmart or something like that. So I didn't have Nintendo 64. One of my best friends did, so we played on his, but I didn't personally play that game a lot, so there's no connection between me and this game. So I definitely know this is something that God's speaking. I haven't got an answer or found interpretation about that part yet, but everything else is pretty clear. This was the Great Tribulation period. I was there to help these people understand why they were going through, to help lead them to getting to know God so that they can be saved. And I'm wondering if I was there physically or if I was there spiritually, and that's why I was like really only following this one girl. And the reason why I say that is because of the next dream. So the last dream I want to share with you, I was in this underground snow-covered ice cave with another older man, and there were pipes like you see in a water heater room. We were there watching them and keeping them at their right levels. I knew there was an opportunity to leave on a flight out, and I had scheduled for it, and I told the other guy, who seemed like he had been in charge, that I was leaving on this flight. He said he would be staying, and then I knew he was going to be staying there to keep things running until the day he died. So I'm wondering if there's going to be people at the time that we're called in the rapture, if there's going to be people that are able to choose, like, I'm going to stay behind, I'm going to help them, which I don't know why anybody would want to do that, but you know, it's a possibility. So that's why I'm wondering if in that previous stream, why I was there with the girl, because it could have been me coming back in the spirit in my glorified body, you know, as I've had dreams about that. I'm going around helping people, like like almost like an angel, or it could have been me being there physically and hadn't stayed to help people to, you know, grow in a relationship with the Lord. So that's all I have to share with you guys tonight, but it was a lot to chew on. So take this all to the Lord, pray about it, continue to stay in prayer. I love you guys, and I'll talk with you soon. God bless.